Hallo Robert.
Hallo Mark.
Jetzt geht das schon wieder los. English, please, so that everybody understands.
Okay.
us.
Hello Mark. Hello.
Yes, very good.
Hello.
Okay. Or subtitles.
Yeah.
All right. A few years ago, we made an interview in the studio. How was the feedback of your fans?
People really liked it.
Yes.
And I had a few discussions.
About?
The moment when I showed the machine and not the 909.
Yeah, that was legendary. Even I was very astonished. So that means that
it was super funny for me because everybody expected.
because you made something
I would
like
say.
ta-da, here we go. But nowadays you are more into the real machines again.
Yeah, I'm using my real 909 again. Even I have the new TR9, right? TR8, the new one from Roland. But I'm using both.
All right. 909 divided with 3 is?
Maybe a secret super machine
Called
303.
303. And this is why we are now sitting here together, because Robert is about to release a new sound pack called Hands on 303 on the legendary...
I use these hands.
Yes, these hands on the legendary label Systematic Sounds. I have a few questions for this fellow, and we start with the first one. I would like you to explain the beginners, especially, what a TB303 actually is.
It's a little silver box this size, made of plastic, cheap plastic, from the 80s. Looks cheap but sounds amazing. It's a monophonic analog synthesizer with a very limited sequencer. But that's actually the advantage of this machine, because it's so limited.
And when you heard about it for the first time, you thought it was a big box.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I was quite young when the first acid house wave happened, and at that time I thought it must be a huge modular type of synth, super big, because the sound was so amazing and so alive. And then I was really disappointed when I had my own in my hands.
Yeah, same here, by the way, because when I heard about it for the first time and all this legendary background with acid house and all this stuff, I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and was disappointed as you were, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So what makes the TB303 so special and particular?
I think the limitation is very important, and that you do all the modulation with your hands. It's very different to any other synthesizer, where you put an LFO on something and it makes its modulation. On the TB303 you use your hands and modulate if you want to modulate. And then there's the sequencer that is very, very different to program to any other sequencer I ever had.
But why? What is so special? I mean, there are so many machines around, and there were so many also bass synthesizers released in the 70s and 80s. But why this little trash box? What is
I think
so special?
First, the basic sound is really amazing. But for me, like for personally for me, it starts to get almost magic as soon as you do some processing on the sound. When you play the TB303 without anything, it sounds interesting, but when you double it, or when I use compression or use my tape machine, and it gets just magic. Like, yeah, really magic. And it's something I have done for this pack as well. Like, I used all my techniques that I use for my own tracks for this for the sounds.
And I think it's also the accent and slide which makes it
right. You
outstanding.
I don't know any other synth that had this slides thing before.
Well, I think that the limitation of this machine is actually the magical background.
It's that
because the other bass machines were bass machines, but this little box was supposed to be a bass player replacement.
You can slide on the bass.
Exactly. So
makes sense.
But it really flopped on the market, right, when it came out?
That's what people told me. Yeah, they didn't sell too many, and that's why it's such a rare instrument these days.
Yeah, very exciting. So, to come to your second AKA Rob Acid, do you remember when you had the idea to call yourself Rob Acid? And do you know the reason, or do you remember the reason? You felt already like the figure 3 in person?
Before Rob Acid, I had another project called Cologne Acid Science Tracks. And that were the first releases, and then around the same time, you know Oliver Bonzio as well, Hardfloor.
Yes.
He lent me his 303 and his 909 and his 606.
And the spinball machine.
No. And because he was, I think I had this machine, his tools for 2-3 weeks. I'm not sure anymore. But I was recording many tracks on a cassette. And when I sent this cassette to a label, they loved it so much. And then they asked me, okay, how should we call this project? And I had no idea. Almost
desperate.
Yeah, it was like a logical thing. And I was a very young, crazy man.
Really?
Maybe. Yeah, and Rob Acid was almost obvious. Somehow. There's no real story behind it. It was somehow obvious, and then it started to get magical during the years, because I was really crazy.
I
loved this machine, and during that days I was producing so much. Sometimes I think I still remember one day when I made 10 tracks per day.
So it was like a trip.
Yeah. So I was
or like 10 trips.
tripping on acid with a TB33, doing music.
Are these old tracks still available, by the way?
No, they were all only released on vinyl. But
They better should.
They should come back, yeah.
We work on it, no worries. Yeah, something very interesting for the producer guys. There are endless clones of the 303 around, virtually, but also as hardware. Is there any model which you could recommend to musicians who don't have the money to just buy it?
Yeah, before you buy a hardware clone, I would recommend the ABL 303 plugin, because I think it's even better than most of the Xbox kind of machines.
And anti-advertisement at the moment.
Sorry, but I was using the ABL plugin for a lot of Babicz productions. And just a few years ago, I started. I think last year when I started to do rock acid tracks again, I started to use my real 3B again. Before that, like the last 5 years, most of the 303 sounds came from this plugin.
Wow, didn't know that. So how many percent close to the original? 90, 70, 98? What would you
I would say 90.
say? 90.
Yeah, just the rest. This living aspect is you cannot get it. You have to touch the TB, and then it's different.
Yeah, that's true.
For basic lines where you don't do too much modulation, the plugin is really good.
So I have also a recommendation, although it's not my pack, but I really like the D16 plugin. The guys from Poland.
They are good. The problem is it's so advanced that it's not a 303 anymore. In a way, they made the plugin is really cool, but you have so many possibilities. It's too much. It's not I never liked a modified 303. There are a few ways you can modify a 303, and I hate all of them.
Yeah, I like the presets with the overgain function, for example. I find it really original and really authentical. And they're not paying me, but I thought it could be added.
But really good Polish company and
Polish company.
Polish company.
Polish producer with Polish roots.
With
now
Polish
German,
roots,
with
and I would say yeah, super company, definitely.
On Polish Chrome. All right. Yeah, now a tricky one. Do you have a favorite 303 track, and why?
I think still my favorite is Future Acid Tracks.
DJ Pierre.
DJ Pierre, yeah. It's there's in many interviews I spoke about the moment when I was a child and around when I was 9 years old and I heard like first real electronic music, and I thought it's music from outer space.
Yes.
And I had almost the same feelings when I heard this music. I thought it's so abstract, so different to anything I heard before. I was crying when I heard this track. I had headphones on in the living room of my parents, listening to radio music, and I had tears because it was. I thought it's alien music.
Yeah, I can
completely
agree.
It will be in my mind forever.
I bought this. My first record was the sampler on BCM Records called Acid House Inferno.
I had this
Future Acid Tracks was also on it,
yeah,
but in a
heard
cut
it on,
way.
on radio.
In a cut way, but there were several other huge Acid House tracks on it. Okay, last question, and now to your upcoming sound pack, Hands on 303. What can people expect from this pack, and what makes it so special to buy it, to purchase it?
I just thought about what kind of if I use sample packs or loop packs, what do I need for myself? And sometimes loops where you can combine elements together and give you new ideas, like an inspiration, and then they should give me a sound that is different. And I think I made a few experiments on this and used really all my spaceship studio to process. I think just on some of the loops, just the processing chain is like 10 times the price of the TB303.
10 times?
10 times.
I know the chain, so I would say 50 times.
Yeah, so I think people will get a sound that it's almost impossible to get by themselves. And they can use all those elements. You can combine the loops, put them together, use the sounds by itself. I'm looking forward to use them myself.
Yeah, that's always the best improvement for a high quality product. But you told me before this interview that there's another very nice feature in this pack. You recorded similar patterns in very different ways.
I made, let me remember, I think it's because I did different series. And one was 16 patterns in, so 16 different patterns, but I recorded them through different kind of processing, again and again and again and again. The same notes, but with completely different processing. So that means you can combine patterns in a row, but you can put them on top and down.
You can double layer them.
Double layer, make different kinds of layers, put them like one with tape delay on the right side of the padding and one with a different kind of guitar pedal on the other side. Create effects you never heard before.
Okay, but this means, and this is really interesting when it comes to the sound pack, you have endless possibilities to combine the different patterns, and this means that everybody can generate his own individual bass line nobody else has, or
you can
somebody else
as a starting point or inspiration, and then with the tools today you don't have to use the line how it is. You can cut it up in any way and recreate your own thing with this.
Yeah, because with this combination, sky's the limit, and everybody can create what he wants.
With all these different variations,
your support.
That's something I'm looking for myself, because I think if I use like every two notes a different combination and then put them together and put them in the padding and then compress them again, should be something new.
This sounds very amazing. So you have the possibility to get the sound pack from March the 3rd on. My partner Jürgen Driesen at Systematic Sounds and myself, we are very proud and excited to have this pack in our catalog very soon. March the 3rd. 2017 is the street date.
It was very funny to work on it.
Special date because it's 3/03/2017. And
what a surprise!
What a surprise! And now you have the possibility. I mean, the first time, because I don't know any sound pack like this which is out yet. So you have now the possibility to produce authentical acid house with the support
in a very own way. It's not the typical. It's very unique because it's different. Yeah, I mean I have a kind of own way of programming stuff. So it's not just it's more of a musical phrase, you know.
Yeah. This is how we know you. Yeah, thanks a lot, and
thank you.
Watch out.